What's up, guys? It's me, BronzeGuy321. Welcome to the channel. Today's video, we're going to go over the weekly recap. I believe this is number 4. Back on the losing train. We'll go over how much in a second. In addition, no big topic this week. I think I'm just going to kind of go over kind of what I've been going through mentally, physically throughout the week, and go from there. So, that being said, let's get it. Okay, so first things first, we are back on the losing train, down 3 pounds this week, so that's going to be a total of 8 pounds in 3 weeks. So that brings us down to 422, which is a win. I'll take it any way I can get. I definitely wasn't as active as I wanted to this week, even though I was really making strides. That big walk last week to start things off, and work and this and that just kind of got in the way. But the diet was, again, king this week. I was on point all week. Sticking to the whole foods, sticking to the, not eating after a certain hour. And I've found that between this week and last week, I would not be down or possibly even have gained weight if I did not stick on that train. Can't stress how important that is. I mean, I know it's kind of like brain dead for me to say, but when you're getting into the swing of things and trying to lose weight, especially, I don't know, I'm sure everyone's heard that, that whole, 80%, 20%, 80% of what you do is your diet, 20% is working out. I don't know how actual true that is. I'm sure for the most part, the diet is important. 80%, who knows? But it just kind of goes to show now that 2 weeks in a row where I haven't been really as active as I set out to be. But by simply just watching what you eat, you can still make some room. You can still make some headway. So again, even though you might struggle and you have these illusions of grandeur of waking up every day at 5 and working out 2 or 3 times a day, 5 days a week, although I still strive to get there, I'm still failing at that. But as each day goes by, and each day I continue to try to commit myself, that is where progress is made. That's where you start to develop discipline. Every week that goes by, even though I haven't set out to do what I wanted to do, I know subtle changes are being made, and oftentimes the subtle changes are the ones that stick. So that's very important for anything you do, especially with what I'm doing now. So one thing I did want to talk about is making excuses. Now, I just made a few, and it's perfectly okay, but it's something you want to acknowledge and kind of examine. I used work as a big one, which to a certain extent it is, but one thing I've learned in watching some random videos, and I've heard a few times over and over, and I keep trying to hammer into my head is, if you really want to do something, you're just going to do it. And I can honestly admit that even though I'm on this train to get to where I want, there's still those moments where I just, I'll get off and I'll be ready to go, and then I get home and get ready to change, and then I already sat down and I just don't. That's a problem, but it's not like a huge problem. It's one of those things, again, where you just kind of work yourself up, you take the wins where you can, and just, the next day, if you did it, just, like I said, you'll hear me say this all the time. You acknowledge it and you move forward. So, for example, Sunday when I went on that big walk, the next day I was sore as hell. I could have probably pushed through and done something, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the day. I did some major work the previous day, so I'll just take a break. I ended up doing anything Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, with the exception of, eating right. But I get to the point, and this is where I start feeling kind of, I don't want to say bad about myself, but I kind of start really kicking myself in the rear, is I keep starting to think of like all these days where I didn't do something, or I was going to set out to and not, and I just keep thinking, man, like what if I would have, and how much could I have lost? How much would I have been down? I mean, this could have been a 5-pound week, a 10-pound week. And as much as I preach, just acknowledge and move on, it's okay to feel that way. As long as you don't beat yourself up over it, which I'm kind of doing right now, but that's kind of why I'm talking to you guys, that even though you might want to beat yourself up on it and you want to hold yourself true to a way of thinking, that doesn't mean you're not going to do that. That's why you kind of have to talk out loud or go talk to a buddy and just say, hey, this is what I'm going through, and just get that positive affirmation, that you are making strides, even though you may not be able to see them, and that what you're trying to achieve is working, whether it's on a very large or small scale. I did make a really good move, though, and then I started looking into ways to aid myself or set myself better for success. And what I mean by that is not necessarily doing anything crazy or spending a bunch of money on stuff, but just small things. For example, anyone who lives in Florida would know that the last 3 weeks or more, it has rained nonstop, off and on, all day. And there's a few mornings where I woke up and it was sprinkling or it was a light drizzle, and it's I personally like walking in the morning and then doing the gym at night. So when I would wake up and it would be raining, I'd be like, okay, well, can't walk. And then there's that little part of me, in the back of my head that would kind of be like, yes, we're not doing anything. So I just bought some sweat clothes, a couple of pairs of sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I bought some shoelace covers, so that way I don't ruin my shoes. That way I can start walking in the morning whether it's raining or not. If it's a torrential downpour, that's a completely different story, but this way that just kind of gives me one more avenue, whether I pull the trigger or not, to get out and do something. Secondly, I started stretching a lot. Now I stretch usually before any kind of exercise, but it's usually just kind of for a few minutes and just get a little loose. But I've actually started for a good 15-20 minutes, just really, really getting some really good stretching in. And that's really helped with a lot of the soreness and the stiffness I've been experiencing with this last walk. And even sometimes when I get out of bed, I'm a little more sore than I should be. And I know that has a lot to do with, my size. And when I do any kind of serious work, I mean, it just kind of all adds in. And, that's helped bring back a lot of the pain and discomfort, which in the end will promote me to being able to do more or be less hesitant to not do something. As much as I'd hate to admit it, but it's true. You have in the back of your mind, who wants to do something that's going to cause them pain or discomfort, and no matter how big the drive you have, and the fact that I'm still kind of working on that drive part and still working on that, just get up and go no matter what part, anything I can do to make it easier, there's no reason not to. So that being said, I'm still going to have the same set of goals that I had last week. Walk as much as I can every morning, go to the gym as many times as I can after work, and do so losing as much weight as possible. Of all the setbacks I've had, I've mentioned a few times that diet has probably been it's probably the first thing I could say that I don't want to say I have a habit of yet, but that's the one thing I've been most consistent on. And if there's any huge win, I mean, that's definitely one. So, looking back on the trials and tribulations with the other stuff, as much as it's a bummer, that being the main win I can hang my hat on is a really good trophy to hold up. So, we'll keep on trying. Definitely, obviously, the goal is at least 2 more pounds this coming week. It will be proved difficult. We have a possible hurricane coming our way, so certain places might not be open, or the availability to go outside might not be there. So again, this might be another week where diet's most important, but we're going to try to get as much work in there as possible. And as long as we keep going at this snail's pace, whether it takes 3 months or a year and a half, we'll get there. We'll get there together, and I look forward to next week and the results that it brings. So that being said, make sure you hit that sub button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when I have videos go live. Like I said last week, man, it's just been fun doing these. It's, you know, during the week, anybody, but especially me, I get in my head so much about everything pertaining to this journey that it's therapeutic in a way to just kind of get it all out and just talk about it. So I appreciate everyone who kind of stops by to check on me. I appreciate all the advice and the well wishes in the comments. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, I think that does it for this week. So I hope you guys have a good day. And next time you see me, I'll be back and better than ever. Later.